Good day. My discussion for today will be about the DILG implementation strategies on the Supreme Court ruling on the Mandanas and Garcia petitions. Now, let's talk about the case. GR number 199802 or Mandanas et al. It's a special civil action for certiorari, prohibition, and mandamus assailing the manner by which the General Appropriations Act for fiscal year 2012 computed the era for the LGUs. Mandanas et al. Allege herein that the certain collections of the National Internal Revenue taxes by the Bureau of Customs, specifically excise taxes, value-added taxes, and documentary stamp taxes, have not been included in the base amounts for the computation of the era. That such taxes, albeit collected by the BOC, should form part of the base from which the era should be computed because they constituted NIRTs. And that consequently, the release of the additional amount of about 60 billion to the LGUs as their era for fiscal year 2012 should be ordered, and that for the same reason, the LGUs should also be released their unpaid era for fiscal year 1992 to fiscal year 2011, inclusive about totaling 438 billion. In GR number 208488, Congressman Garcia, the lone petitioner, seeks the writ of mandamus to compel the respondents thereat to compute the just share of the LGUs on the basis of all national taxes. His petition insists on a literal reading of Section 6, Article 10 of the 1987 Constitution. He avers that the insertion by Congress of the words internal revenue in the phrase national taxes found in Section 284 of the LGC caused the diminution of the base for determining the just share of the LGUs and should be declared unconstitutional. That moreover, the inclusion of certain taxes and accounts pursuant to or in accordance with special laws which similarly constitutionally untenable, that the VATs and excess taxes collected by the BOC should be included in the computation of the era, and that the respondents should compute the era on the basis of all national tax collections, and thereafter distribute any shortfall to the LGUs. Now let's talk about the related legal provisions. 1987 Constitution, Article 10, Section 6. It states that LGUs shall have a just share and that it shall be automatically released to them. Section 284, on the other hand, of the Local Government Code states that LGU shall have a share in the National Internal Revenue taxes based on the collection of the third fiscal year preceding the current fiscal year, while the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997, Section 21, states that the National Internal Revenue taxes are the following: income tax, estate and donors taxes, value-added tax, other percentage taxes, excise taxes, documentary stamp taxes, and such other taxes imposed and collected by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. National taxes also include those imposed by the national government, including customs duties and other taxes collected by the Bureau of Customs. The 1987 Constitution is forthright and unequivocal in ordering that the just share of the LGUs in the national taxes shall be automatically released to them. With Congress having established the just share through the LGC, it seems to be beyond debate that the inclusion of the just share of the LGUs in the annual GAAs is unnecessary, if not superfluous. Hence, the just share of the LGUs in the national taxes shall be released to them without the need of yearly appropriation. So what was the Supreme Court's final ruling? It ruled with finality that the National Internal Revenue taxes as the base for determining the just share of the LGUs provided in Section 284 of the LGC, enacted by Congress, contradicted the express provision in Section 6 or the Article 10 of the 1987 Constitution, which explicitly mentions national taxes as the source of the just share of the LGUs. It also effectively dismissed the claims of LGUs for the settlement of the national government of arrears in the just share on the ground that this decision shall have a prospective application. Therefore, the base amount of the era must be all national taxes and must not be limited to national internal revenue taxes alone. So now, let's talk about the impact of the Supreme Court ruling. Of course, there will be a positive and a negative impact. let's talk about the positives first. There is a projected windfall increase in LGU resources considering that the increase of ERA shares of LGUs will amount to 234 billion or by about 27.61%. The downside? There will be a decrease in the national government's funds as resources will be downloaded to LGUs. There is a need for the national government to reposition its resources, priorities, and responsibilities. Let me direct your attention on the figures. We'll be talking about the increase in ERA allocation. I'll give you an example. For provinces, which normally receives 23% allocation, for 2022, without the Supreme Court ruling, it will just receive 195 billion. But with the SC ruling, it will now receive 249 billion. Another example are the barangays, which only gets about 20% allocation. Without the Supreme Court ruling, it will just receive 848 billion. But now it's going to receive about 1 trillion. With this increase, the estimated average ERA per LGU level for fiscal year 2022 will now be as follows. Provinces will receive about 3 billion, cities will receive about 1 billion, municipalities will receive about 247 million, and barangays about 5 million increase in their ERA. Now, these are the implications of the Supreme Court ruling. Number 1, there will be more resources for LGU service delivery. The increase of the internal revenue allotment will help fund devolved basic services such as health, agriculture, education, disaster management, peace and order, and safety. But there will also be an expectation for better performance. Number 2, fewer resources for the projects, programs, and activities for national government agencies or NGAs. The PPAs of NGAs that encompasses the roles and service delivery functions of LGUs will now be removed and devolved to LGUs. Fewer PPAs for NGAs will mean that they will now be expected to perform less implementation and more oversight functions. Number 3, there will also be a greater demand for capacity and supervision of LGUs. This means that the expanded oversight role of the DILG, its exercise of oversight responsibilities of provinces, cities, and municipalities over their respective component LGUs. Now, these are the preparatory activities for the implementation of the Supreme Court ruling. In preparation, the DBM initiated a series of consultations that resulted to the drafting of a devolution roadmap containing a number of broad strategies to facilitate transitioning to a devolution setup envisioned with the increase in LGU resources for fiscal year 2022. This was in consideration of the varying absorptive capacities of LGUs and the decrease in national government resources that will require redefinition of priorities and delineation of responsibilities both at the national and local levels. The roadmap was developed to support both NGAs and LGUs to better prepare for the consequent increase in LGU resources and the absorptive capacity as well as national government resources, priorities, and responsibilities. The DBM led the drafting, formulation of the Executive Order on Full Devolution in 2019. The series of consultation was participated by the Core Technical Working Group, DBM, DILG, NEDA, CSC, and DOF. These are the devolved basic services and facilities according to Local Government Code Section 17. This means that LGUs shall now assume the responsibilities of the devolved services in terms of agricultural extension and on-site research, community-based forestry projects, tourism facilities, promotion and development, telecommunication services, field, health, and hospital services, public works and infrastructure, school building programs, social welfare services. This slide, on the other hand, shows the devolved services per local government unit level based on Section 17 of the Local Government Code. These are the potential sources of funds for the increased ERA. The DBM initially identified NGA projects with corresponding amounts that will eventually be devolved to LGUs. In this table, it shows the potential sources of funds that will fund the devolved services. Now, these are the future plans for the implementation of the Supreme Court ruling. Now, this will be the responsibilities of the Department of the Interior and Local Government in the executive order: delineation of national government and local government unit roles, the preparation of devolution transition plans, capacity building for local government units, strengthening planning, investment programming, and budgeting linkage, and monitoring and evaluation systems, and of course, the options for affected national government agencies personnel. These are the main considerations with regard to the preparation of LGU transition plans. We need to consider the new mandates given by laws passed after the Local Government Code, the NGA's programs and activities to be turned over to LGUs, the service delivery standards to be formulated by sector agencies, and an organizational effectiveness plan. We also need to strengthen the coordination between the national government and local government in terms of plan preparation, revenue target or mobilization, annual budget preparation, and budget execution. With regard to strengthening the capacities of local government unit, we will be focusing on local development planning, public financial management, monitoring and evaluation, project management, community mobilization, and revenue generation. Our next steps and ways forward will include the DILG transition implementation, for example, development of the DILG transition plans and development of guidelines, the mobilization of resources to support the transition plan, and to carry out or effectively carry out massive communication and advocacy campaigns for local government units, civil society organizations, and the public in general. Thank you very much.